welcome to the 3-on-3 Hoops Pod, the voice of 3-on-3 basketball, and where we break down why 3-on-3 is the secret sauce for player development. My name is Kevin Roberts, and joined as always by someone who will always believe Pacific time zone is the best time zone, the one and only Coach Jay, aka Coach Jared Dent. What's going on, Coach?
Like they said, man, West Coast is the best coast. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
That's right. I guess. I've been on the West Coast for all week, and my body's still adjusting back to the East Coast time. So today we've got a special guest, someone who's been in the game or someone who's seen the game from just about every angle. Not only did he play at high school level, but he also helped lead Eckerd College to the school's first NCAA Elite Eight appearance after being named the South Region Tournament MVP. He coached college basketball for 10 years, and his name is all over the Eckerd record books. He's known for his leadership on both ends of the court. These days, he consults for both high school and college programs and will be a keynote speaker at a coaching retreat this August. He's passionate about where the game is headed, especially around skill, talent, and smart play. We're excited to dive into all of that, especially through the lens of 3-on-3, because today we're talking to someone who really epitomizes what this show is all about, and that he's a coach who used 3-on-3 as a teaching tool at the college level. And I'd like to officially welcome to the pod Coach Kendrick Wilson. Coach, we're excited to have you. Appreciate you making the time for us.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be on. I really appreciate it.
All right, Coach, we're gonna do as we always do when we have an interview. Coach Jay and I will alternate questions. We're just gonna jump right into it. What first opened your eyes to the power of 3-on-3 basketball as a teaching tool?
Yeah, the first thing that opened my eyes to it was being at the University of Florida summer basketball camp. Billy Donovan was running the camp. I went there as a young high schooler, and he broke the game down in small sections to really help accelerate learning, help you get more reps, get technique. And 3-on-3 was one of the things he used after the camp was over. He said, "Go back home, get your friends, play 3-on-3, and use some of these tools." And I really can see some of my skill and understanding the game advance once I did his camp and started using some of his techniques, and it helped me out on my high school basketball team the following season.
Awesome.
Nice. How do you see 3-on-3 fitting into the evolution of today's game, Coach, with all the different talent and skill levels and the schemes that we're seeing now? How do you see 3-on-3 fitting into that?
I love watching the NBA game, and I can see the imprints of 3-on-3 all over in today's game, particularly in today's game, with the floor spacing, the pace of the game, the quickness of the game. Today, you can no longer sit in and pack it in on defense because you got shooters, you got highly skilled players everywhere. Likewise, in 3-on-3, I can't pack it in. I have to. I'm always engaged. I have to defend. I have to be ready to move. And like I said, I can see it all over the place. I look at teams like the Warriors. They do smaller, little quick hitters out of 3-on-3. You can see the ball go to the post in Draymond. You can see a little quick up screen out of a triangle or 3-on-3 type of action. Indiana Pacers their entire offense looks like a 3-on-3 pace game with how quick the ball is moving and how much spacing you have. But
Celtics.
the Boston Celtics. I mean, you name it. But the spacing and the pace of the game, and then the skill level of the players has 3-on-3 written all over it.
Yep,
I just gotta ask, who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite team in the NBA?
You know what? I used to have favorite teams when I was growing up, and it was the Blazers with Clyde Drexler.
You're the first Clyde Drexler fan that
ever.
Yeah, I'm from Orlando, Florida. And when the Magic first opened, I was going to the Boys and Girls Club, and they would give us tickets to the game before they had Shaq and Penny and all that. They would give us tickets to the game, and the first game I went to was the Magic versus the Blazers. And I was like, what in the world? Who was that? He was coming down to Lane Duncan.
Hilarious.
So, yeah, but nowadays...
I love that you were living in Orlando and went to a Magic game and became a fan
like
of the Blazers.
Pacific Northwest team. Yeah.
Hey, I remember the game. I can remember where I was sitting. But But as I got older, and really started taking basketball more serious, I became more of a fan of the game itself, no matter who was playing. And then particularly when I started coaching, now when I watch basketball, it's enjoyable for me to watch the schemes, to watch how teams are trying to defend the other teams, or what are they doing to attack the defense, or what adjustments are they making during the playoffs from game to game. How are they
Yeah.
getting their best players to what spots? What are they doing out of timeouts, or what are they doing late shot situations? So now I'm more of a fan of the entire game versus versus any particular team or player.
Okay.
I can feel that. I can feel that.
Along the same lines, so like, are there any offensive or defensive concepts that you've seen or even love teaching that show up better in 3-on-3 than you might see it in 5-on-5?
Yeah, one of the concepts itself to me is spacing. Um, I remember when I coached basketball, that was one of the big keys to get the guys to understand spacing, spacing, spacing. Because as players come into the game, that ball is like a magnet. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants it at every second. You know, uh, if it's 9 players on the court at any given time, you take a picture, the odds of you having the basketball is low. So what am I doing in the times when I don't have the basketball? So I think 3-on-3 helps you understand spacing. It helps you understand movement without the ball. And even in the offense that I used to coach, we used to coach the triangle offense, like from the '90s Bulls that in
Yep.
the latest Lakers, and it consists of all sections and pockets of 3-on-3
Mhm.
basketball. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh,
it's totally 3-on-3.
exactly. So I would say the spacing is one of the biggest parts of the 3-on-3 that I like.
So in your coaching experience, coach, what are the biggest signs that you've seen that a player truly understands the game beyond just skill and that guy that just jumps off the film? Beyond that, what are the biggest signs that you've
Yeah,
seen?
yeah. One of the things that I like to talk about are the natural laws of basketball. There are some natural laws in basketball.
I agree.
For instance, 2 people come, give the ball up. Shot goes up, box out. So there's some natural laws that when a player understands the natural laws, willing to follow them, that begins to show me that they are
It's
understanding the
starting to
game of
click.
basketball. It's starting to click. I remember telling, I remember exact verbiage that I would use when I coach is the game has decided certain things for you. This
Yeah.
guy has committed on defense. The game has determined for you, pass that ball to the open guy and let him knock it down. If he can't knock it down, then we need to work with him with skill level or something.
Yep.
But the game has determined certain things for you, and when the guys are willing to follow these natural laws, then I know they are understanding and their awareness and their IQ is going in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. I actually have a kid on my team right now, Coach Kev. This to you because we always talk about the club team. I actually have a kid right now that's starting to get that, Coach Wilson, about the natural laws, about the passing, going to go screen opposite, or when the ball's on the opposite side and he's on the weak side, he will go set an off ball screen. Now the thing is, the guy that they're setting the screen for, he's not coming off the screen. So that's kind of how I'm understanding. Like, okay, this guy, he's getting it. He's a little step above on the schematic part of it. He's not.
Mm.
He's the least athletic. He's the smallest, but he's gonna. I can tell that he's gonna be able to make up for that up here.
You've seen it so many times
Yeah.
to where somebody might be a little less athletic, maybe not don't have the same quickness, but like you say, they're able to make up with it by thinking quicker, being in the
Uh-huh.
right spot, making the right play. I hate to use examples of NBA players because all of
Yeah.
them are extremely gifted physically,
Right.
but in their world, there are some who are not as gifted. Like you can consider Steve Nash um, against a regular human being. His athleticism is probably off the charts with speed and quickness. But amongst NBA players, you wouldn't think that
He's
is,
lower tier, yeah.
he's definitely lower tier, but he was able to make so many plays based off of angles and IQ and just thinking,
Anticipation.
anticipation and think. Yeah, so yeah, definitely we've seen that.
So I did a little background research on you, and I saw that you had recorded 77 steals as a senior. Let me know if anything's wrong here. 77 steals as a senior, and so that's second on the school's single season uh, steals record, and
Yeah.
you rank fourth with 169 steals. So
Yeah.
Oh, we
that's
got a defensive stalwart here, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
being ranked like that, and so you're known as one of the defensive leaders in your playing days, and just being a leader in general. And you mentioned with IQ and everything, and of course that only comes from being confident on the court. How have you seen 3-on-3 build player confidence, and how important is that for your youth development?
Yeah. 3-on-3 builds player confidence, I think, through the reps that you get. You get an opportunity to be involved directly with every single play. Sometimes in 5-on-5, I'm a bystander, I'm a ticket holder, if you will, sitting. But in 3-on-3, I'm directly involved. Let's take defense, for instance. I'm either directly on the ball, I'm uh, I'm the first help or I'm the backside help. And as the backside help, as you know, I'm the voice of the defense. I have to tell everything. So if there's a ball screen going on, I'm directly impacted as the only other defender if I'm the furthest from the ball. I have to make some type of decision. If they're not switching, if they are, I have to be in a help side situation. I can't
Help.
wait on any. Yeah, I have to help. So I'm always involved in 3-on-3. So I get the opportunity to see every basketball situation over and over again. Every single time I play, I'm directly involved with each play. I'm not a bystander. And and as you know, with anything, getting reps, getting opportunities to do something is how you build your skill. And once you build your skill, you can begin to build your confidence.
Sticking to the defense, coach. Once again, I'm impressed by those defensive stats, man. Those steals. Young Allen Iverson, huh? We got a young Allen Iverson over here with the steals. Um, what? So, what are coaches? What is something that coaches sometimes overlook as far as like teaching uh, the defensive side of the game and the defensive IQ, and how does 3-on-3 or how can 3-on-3 help that?
Yeah, it's a lot of great coaches everywhere at all levels, from the pros all the way, down to the youngest 5-year-olds or whoever started. Um, but I think sometimes the getting the reps in is what's missed. Every player has, in my opinion, from what I've seen, every player has their own rep need. And what I mean by that is some players might only need 5 reps and then it's locked in and they have it. Some players might need 50 reps. And are you willing to invest the time? That player that needs 50 to 100 reps, are you willing to bring them to the side and do more with them, versus just casting them aside? Once you get to higher and higher levels at the NBA, maybe feel like, you know what, I need to move on to the next person. But somebody need to invest time in that player, so that they can get it. I believe that the basketball, we talked about the natural laws of basketball. They're right there. Anybody can understand them, but everybody has their own individual pace of learning. Everybody has their specific amount of reps they need. What can the coach do to get that player the reps that they need? And I think that, to me, I think that's the biggest part of the missing link between the players getting it and not getting it, getting them those reps.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and I'm real big on mental reps also, coach. Like I preach and preach and I try to hammer home to the guys. When you're standing on the side, please watch
Mm.
because you need to process it here too before. I feel like it's hand in hand, right? It's just like on the job training. When you get a new job, they don't just throw you out there and expect you to do the job. You got to go through 2 weeks of mirroring somebody, watching what they're doing, and then you have so many mental reps to where it's like, okay, now you can get out there and physically do it.
Mm.
So that's not only physical reps. I believe mental reps are very, 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 very instrumental, and putting both of them together help kind of speeds up the process a little bit, maybe.
Mm. Yeah, that can't be the first time you've seen it. My man,
Yeah,
this cannot be the first time you've
that
seen it.
can't be the first time you've seen this here.
You've been standing here the last 10 minutes. I just
Right
corrected 3 people
in
for
front
being
of
in
you.
that position. Yeah, and now
Right.
we started making these adjustments.
Yep.
This can't be the first time you've seen it. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. And if film is a resource that you have as well, that's another opportunity to get
I
those
love
mental
film.
reps.
I love
Yeah,
film.
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
love it.
it's so
I
huge.
sit here
Yeah.
and watch film on my TV of my ninth grade freshman team. I would just do that on a random day. Just let me go back and see if I see something different, even though I watched it 50 times already. Like let me see if I can find something different.
So valuable, such a valuable tool to be able to see and evaluate. That's one of the biggest tools that I use when coaching.
Yeah,
Definitely
Yeah,
film mental reps, like you're saying, Coach. I couldn't agree more.
unreal.
Coach Jay and I talked about that in last episode. The importance of players watching film, especially as close to their level as possible.
Yeah.
The more basketball, so so it won't be the first time they see it when they step out on the court. So,
Just like you said,
Yeah.
um,
Coach, this can't be the first time you saw
Can't
that.
be.
I'm going to
Let
use that. I'm going to use that exact line at practice, and I'm going to say it in
me.
that same tone, bro. This can't be the first time you've seen this. We just played 8 games and we've had 10 practices, and you still making the same mistakes.
I love it. I love it. Let me tell you a unique story with the way I use film when I coached at Eckerd.
yeah, please.
I would film all of our practices, right? And every practice we show good defense, bad defense, good offense, bad offense, some along those lines. But when we would play against opponents, obviously we did a certain level of scouting. So let's say a team ran specific offenses and we're practicing guarding those offenses. Well, we'd film practice, I'd watch the practice, and we would determine how we're going to guard their actions. And I would say, "Ooh, we got a gap here. Let's make an adjustment." So the next practice, we make a slight adjustment. I watch the film again, and I can see, okay, where maybe more gaps is. So now, by the time we play the team, we've already made 2 key
You've seen where all
adjustments.
the possible gaps are. Yeah.
Right, and
Uh,
we've made a couple key adjustments on how we're going to be able to defend them. So that's less changes and less varieties we're going to have to do by the time we get to the game. So film
nice.
to me is invaluable. You can't put a price on it.
Something
Yeah.
I regret not doing enough of when I was coaching way back in the day. We still had the on the shoulder camera recorders though. So let's Coach, as a former college coach, what are some and I know as high school coaches, Coach and I both are assistant coaches on the high school level, and we coach middle school also. So we don't, as far as like recruiting goes, we haven't really been as involved as you may have been in recruiting players. So as a former college coach, what were some of the key traits that you look for when recruiting high school players? And are there any of those that 3-on-3 basketball can help develop?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, for your team, you're looking for a certain level of just natural God given ability, whether that's length or height, if you're looking for a certain position. But with the way that we ran our team, like I told you, we ran the triangle offense. So we needed players who had maybe heightened awareness. So we were looking for players who could potentially make all the plays, who could read a defense, who could pass the ball, who could make a jump shot, who could be unselfish, who knew how to move without the ball. And like we mentioned earlier, 3-on-3 gives you an opportunity to do all of that. If you're playing a lot of 3-on-3, you will not be able to hide. I can't hide on defense. I can't hide on offense. And if I lack skill,
Quickly
it's gonna be
exposed.
right. You be exposed quickly. So so in essence, we're looking for players who probably would be outstanding at 3-on-3 basketball.
Nice, nice. I agree with
You know,
that
Gonna
you
100%.
we're gonna clip that
Yep.
one statement right there. That'll
and
Hey,
be
we
the
might have
lead
to
into
make
the
that. We
show.
might have to make that the intro.
and you know there's some toughness, a lot of toughness that you need in 3-on-3. I watch different 3-on-3 games now, and somebody smaller like myself, I'm only 6'1". I might end up having
Only
to
six
Six
guard.
one.
one. That
Well,
me
well,
I'm 5'7".
well,
You just made me feel like a shrimp.
in the world of basketball,
I got yeah, yeah, yeah.
I might end up on a 6'9" guy.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Obviously, I don't anticipate being able to stop him, but for maybe 5 seconds or 10 seconds, I got to man up and play. You know, and uh, three on, and like we said, like you just said, Coach J, you're gonna be exposed if you're not willing. If you don't have the skill, you can't hide in 3-on-3. That's
Not at
love
all. Not at all.
it.
Not at all. Coach, from let's put your consulting glasses on for this one. So as a consultant, what separates the programs that really get it right with player development from the ones that don't?
Mm, yeah. So a lot of coaches that I know, a lot of coaches that I work with, they, as you all know, there's natural laws of the game of basketball. It's all shared knowledge. I feel like maybe what could separate coaches, or it might be resources. Like, do I have access to this information? Do I have access to this time? But when it comes to the coaches, like what you're specifically asking, what separates them, I personally believe it's that willingness to pour into the players and not give up on them. It's that willingness to give them reps, identify who needs those reps, and how can I do something specifically for that my player to get that rep? What can I do to get that player rep? I remember calling players into my office, reviewing film, talking to them, going over it, because you only get a certain window to practice. If we're practicing now for an hour and a half or so, that's all I have to get him is reps.
Yeah.
But am I willing? Am I willing to go the extra mile for the player? We ask the player to do a lot of things. We ask the player to dive on the floor. We ask the player to get better on their own time. We ask the player to do a lot of things. Am I willing to also pour into that player, or do I just kind of cast them aside? So I would think that what separates them are the coaches who are willing to continue to dive in and just pour into the player, give them
No
every
matter the
bit
skill
that,
level.
no matter the skill level, no matter, you know, um, I I truly believe there's never a wasted time. Like you just brought up the skill level. There's not a wasted time of pouring something into somebody else. Giving
Yeah.
them some type of knowledge,
Yeah.
and I feel like I've seen it. I've never charted it, but I just feel like I've seen coaches cast aside a player, give up on a player.
A little too
So
quickly.
maybe, yeah, maybe too quickly, or if you're not no longer on my team, you're no longer good, then you're done. But as long
Mm.
as you're on my team, I got to do something positive. I got to do something to get you going. It's just my duty as a coach.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that because I kind of feel that way also, especially when I'm coaching on the high school level. Because when you get to high school, you're not guaranteed the minutes, right? So especially as the season goes on, and then you see a guy that he rarely gets minutes in the game. I try to make it my duty to give him at least a handful of reps, so
Mhm.
that he's getting something out of basketball. He needs to, from the start of the season to the end of the season, I need to know that I taught you something and that something
Mhm.
sticks. And that's part of what I feel that I'm good at, or whatever the case may be. Just being able to pour into the last man on the bench. You may only play 8 minutes through the whole entire season, but I'm making sure in practice that you get as much basketball knowledge from me as possible. Whether you use it or not, at least you know it, and at least you know that somebody put the extra effort in with you.
Right. And you know what, coach? You never know what return that's going to give.
Never know.
15 years from now, something you teach that last kid, he's going to pass it down to somebody else that we never
Somebody.
know about, who might end
Yep.
up being a world famous NBA player.
Yep.
So you can never underestimate the value of teaching somebody.
No, I love that you said that. Because me personally, my favorite level of coach that I've coached was JV basketball, and usually you don't have those players for more than 2 years at max. Most of the time you have them for like 1 year, and
Yeah.
so even if they don't play much on JV team and they end up don't making the varsity team or just stop playing basketball, I always let them know that I'm still your coach. You can call
Yeah.
me up anytime or whatever,
Still
and
hit me up.
just to have that relationship with the kid. And I think sometimes that gets lost. I mean, it's more than just coaching a kid basketball. You want to develop that relationship with them for life, basically. So I don't care if I coached you for 5 minutes. I still love the kids that I only coach for a season, and I'll see them in passing. I saw one like maybe like a month ago and like a Publix or something like that, and I
Yeah.
say, "Hey, coach." So like
Yeah.
I love that
Yes.
they still call me coach, and they still, even though I didn't play them that much, or so that makes me feel like I did something right. But
That's awesome.
yeah, so I love that you said that, about the relationships. Um, so as we wind down, I want to talk about training, player training, and let's say a player wants to improve this off season, and not just with skill work, but for just feel of the game. How would you build a 3-on-3 training week for them?
Yeah, I would do 3-on-3 with limited dribbling. I used to run we would have a summer camp for kids, and when I coached at Eckerd College, and most of the camps we had maybe like 120 kids, and I had a big staff helping me with players and coaches, high school coaches from the area. Well, one week we had a smaller camp. We had about 60 kids, and I cut a lot of the staff, and I basically ran the camp myself. And I instituted 3-on-3 basketball. And but I did it with limited dribbling. I said the rules were you can only do 2 dribbles. I would first teach them how to effectively use a dribble, how to like attack someone's shoulder or attack the side of someone's body,
That back foot.
and attack the back foot. Two dribble max. You got to give it up. But before I showed them that, I showed them how to move without the ball, showed them some backdoor things, some techniques, and how to triple threat and all that stuff. And I started at the first day of camp. It was a 5-day camp, and by the like day 3 or day 4, the 5-on-5 basketball games were just they were beautiful. So one thing that I would definitely do is I would use 3-on-3, but with limited dribbling, and I think that would really advance the awareness and in the skill level, being able to play 3-on-3 using two dribbles. I think is a great way to increase skill level and awareness
My
for any basketball
my
player.
players are listening to this like, you get 2 dribbles, because I used to do no dribbles, and
Nope. Yeah.
so that, I know this is that you coach at a higher level, so of course they know how to move without the ball, but at lower levels, I feel like having no dribbles really teaches them what to do, without the basketball. Like they really have to think like, how am I going to get I can't just stand here, so I got to get a teammate
Yeah.
open by setting screens. So that's how
Mhm.
I kind of introduce it, and then I'll graduate eventually to 2 or 3 dribbles. And then, but yeah, after you do that, just get the kind of open their mind, because the first thing, and Coach Jay says this all the time, as soon as a player gets the ball, one of his pet peeves is that they start dribbling, with their head down and straight to the basket without
I
even
hate it. I
thinking
hate
about it.
it. I hate it.
Yeah, so they
Yes.
forget, like, there's only 3 rules or 3 reasons why you should dribble. So they always forget that, and they just go straight to the basket. But
Yep.
that no dribble or limited dribble, that's a great way to kind of open a player's mind, especially at the middle school and high school level.
Yeah.
And as you can see, coach still uses it at the college level. So that's
Yeah.
awesome that you said that.
Giving them that awareness. You're talking about that player that dribbles. I used to tell them a dribble is a pass to yourself. Boy, you like passing it to yourself.
Yep.
There's
I
another
always
one for
tell
you
them.
to use,
I
coach.
just tell them we don't get points for dribbling. We get points for putting in the basket, man.
Putting
We
in the
don't get
basket.
look, this isn't gymnastics. We don't get style points for dribbling, man. Give the ball
Yeah.
up and move somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That
funny.
that that's the key. You talk about no dribbles and what you do without the basketball. That's so key to understand. How can I be effective? You talked about recruiting. I remember recruiting one player in high school one year. I went to his game. He didn't take a shot in the second half, and I thought he was the best player on the court.
Wow.
And I recruited him hard. He eventually went Division 1, higher than us, but I still know this player to this day, and I talk to him quite frequently. But um, what are you doing without the basketball? Am I screening it, like even offensively and defensively? But particularly offensively, we talk about, I guess, offensive skills. What in the world are you doing? I would tell my team. I would tell my team as we're watching film, because when I'm breaking down a film, it records everything, even dead ball, even timeout. So
Mm-hmm.
randomly, randomly pause the video, and the odds of you having a basketball is less than 10%. Less than 10%. Because one of the three refs can have it. Anybody on your team can have it. Anybody on the other team can have it, or the ball could be in motion. The ball could be in the air, and the ball could be shot. So the chances of you having the basketball at any given moment is slim. So
So you
what
need
in
to
the
be doing
world are you
something.
doing? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What in the world are you doing? Like you mentioned with the zero dribbles, well, I begin to learn and discover what it is I should be doing when I don't have the basketball. Definitely a great tool.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Coach, if you had one message for other coaches about building smarter players, not just more skilled players, smarter players, what would that message be?
Reps, reps, reps. Give them as many reps as they can get. Small groups of basketball, particularly 3-on-3, breakdown sessions, reps, reps, reps. You cannot, I don't think there's a substitute for getting more reps. There's variations of learning like we talked about. And these tools are huge for advancing the player's mind and awareness, watching film, being observed. All these things are huge, but I have to get out on the court and do it. I have to get those reps in physically as well. And in 3-on-3, we mentioned it several times. I'm always directly involved with every single play. I'm engaged with every single play. I can't hide. So getting as many reps as you can, I think that's the key to elevating anybody's game.
Yeah, most valuable. I agree, 100%.
Awesome, Coach. And one last question for you. You mentioned off the air, your playing days, playing Hoop It Up back in the day,
Yes,
3-on-3 Hoop
yes,
It Up.
yes.
For those you don't know, that was a touring 3-on-3 tournament and went from city to city. And I apparently used to dominate in Hoop It Up. So, uh, what was that 3-on-3 experience like back then? And do you think that that kind of like street ball or playground style still has value in today's game?
Yeah, so I definitely didn't dominate and hoop it up in 3-on-3. I went out with a couple guys I knew. The first team we played, they didn't pass the look test, and I mean, we got creamed. We got creamed in, and they beat us really off of skill and execution. They were backdooring us. Every one of them could dribble, shoot, pass. They were hitting those little elbow shots. I mean, we're hugging them on defense, but I mean, they're just playing the pressure points of the defense so well. Such an eye-opening experience. So I did the opposite of dominating 3-on-3. Walked away embarrassed, tail tucked between, tucked between my legs. And what was the second part of the question? Sorry about that, Coach.
No, do you think
Yeah,
that kind of like, I guess you call it street ball or playground style of play, because that Hoop It Up was kind of played in the streets or whatever. It
yeah,
was
yeah,
it was a lot less structured, style of play. Do you think that has any value in
yeah,
today's game or
yeah,
teaching
yeah,
this
yeah,
today's game?
yeah. I definitely do. I definitely do think because you can build confidence, you can build creativity.
Yep.
You don't have somebody, you don't have somebody breathing down your neck, dictating your moves and all that stuff. So you get to kind of figure out what you can do with the game. You figure out that's the art part of it. The beauty of how you think, how you interpret the game,
Hmm.
what risks I can take and be successful with. So it's definitely a lot of space for that style of basketball in today's game, growing, developing, and all of that
Yeah,
for
Coach
sure.
Jay and I talk about that all the time. Like, we think that part of basketball is always lost. Like, we don't see a lot of kids just playing now. You know what I'm
Just
saying?
playing.
You
Yeah,
don't
just
drive around Sunday afternoon and just see the parks packed or whatever. I think those days are gone. Hopefully it'll come back. But
Well, I don't know
unfortunately,
because in my neighborhood, it's just some random kids are always playing on this
well,
basketball
that's
court, and
good. Yeah, yeah.
it's
It's
it's a
not
that's
breath
real
as
of
good.
fresh air. But I'm
Yeah.
also like, who are these kids? I know they don't live in this neighborhood. But what can I say, right? You know what I'm saying? They playing basketball, so I just let them be and just keep a
yeah,
watchful
it's
eye
not
on
as
them.
common. Yeah, it's not as common. You'll see more people on 2K on
Oh yeah,
the
no,
park
no,
Oh
no, for
yeah.
sure.
than on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
real
yeah.
park. So
Yeah, yeah, you don't, yeah. Like you said, coach, you back in the day, you would drive down the street on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, you would pass park after park and just see fives running. Every park you pass by. Here,
before
Yes.
online
the parks
gaming,
are,
yeah.
are barren. There's nobody running,
Yeah.
playing
Now,
hoops.
I'm not gonna sit here and say online gaming was a thing back then. It wouldn't be the same back then, but
Oh
technology's
yeah.
kind of taken that away from a lot of people. But
Mhm.
and that's what Coach and I try to do with our programs. We're just trying to create opportunities or spaces where kids can just play again, and that's one thing we try to bring back. So
Mhm.
all right, Coach. These are going to be. I always like to end the interview with some rapid fire questions, and
Okay.
so we do these in the style of 3x3 FIBA rules, where I'll throw out a question and you have 12 seconds to start to give your answer. You don't have to give your answer in 12 seconds, but you have 12 seconds to start to say something. You can't think about these. So
Okay.
these will be quick, fun. Coach Jay, you can jump in whenever you want. I'll throw the first question out there. Coach, who is the best basketball player you've seen in person?
Oh.
You just said one. Your
That's
favorite
not the best
basketball
player you
player.
Oh,
ever saw?
Clyde Drexler. Clyde,
Clyde the Glide.
Clyde the Glide. Yes.
Clyde the Glide.
Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway.
Oh, okay.
Okay, okay, yeah, not a bad choice. All right, I got one for you. All time 3v3 lineup. Three players, one sub. All time players.
This is basically your
Any
Mount
level.
Rushmore.
Any level. Any level.
Well,
Uh,
it's got to beat everybody else's team. So everybody,
Oh, so
this is usually the last question, but everyone gives their favorite their best 3x3 team or 3v3 team.
NBA. NBA players.
okay.
Yeah, past or
Okay.
current players.
Past or
It,
current, yeah.
okay. And all of them at their prime, it'd definitely
Yeah,
Yeah.
be
we,
LeBron
we
James, Michael Jordan, and Tim Duncan.
and who's your
Okay, one
sub?
sub.
And sub, it'd be Shaq.
Oh, okay. All right. We running pick and rolls on Shaq all day, coach.
Shaq,
We get Shaq in that pick and roll. Hey, I'm bringing him
Shaq
up
ain't gonna
top.
be
We
able to
run a
I'm
guard.
just
high
bringing
pick and roll on Shaq
Shaq
all
ain't
day.
gonna be able to
I'm
guard
just bringing
nobody.
Shaq out to perimeter.
We run a high pick and roll. The big dude in the game. All right, bring it up top.
Hey,
Bring it.
Shaq ain't gonna be able to guard nobody.
Oh, okay. All right. Best sports movie of all time. Doesn't have to be
Re-
basketball.
mm, Remember the Titans. I
Solid.
met the coach. I met the real coach that Denzel played.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Coach
Denzel
Boone.
played. Coach
Yeah,
Boone.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Nice,
that's awesome.
nice. Yeah, that's tight. That's tight.
And last one. Favorite basketball memory.
Favorite basketball memory would be a time that my brother and I played 2-on-2 versus our cousins. I was about in high school. We were playing 2-on-2. We were down like 13-1, and we're going to 15, and we ended up coming back and winning.
That's dope.
That was the best. That was
After
my basketball high.
so all the basketball that you've been involved in as a player and 10 years coaching college, you still go back to your brother playing 2-on-2.
Yeah, man,
That's awesome, man.
it's my
Fondest
I
brother.
love that.
memories.
He's my best
I love
friend, my
that.
brother. So yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
that. All right, Coach. This conversation was full of coaching wisdom, and we really appreciate you taking the time to break things down for us and our listeners, and for everyone listening. If you enjoyed this episode or this conversation, make sure to head over to 3on3hoopsnation.com. That's where you can join the newsletter, leave us a message, or drop us a voicemail and be featured on a future show. Coach Shea, you have anything else to add to that?
Nothing. This was a great conversation. This is very, very, very insightful, Coach. I loved, being able to pick your brain, hear, your insights and from your point of view. You obviously coached on the college level. I didn't. So it's always good to get that knowledge from a higher level for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Coach Wilson, any parting words or any message that you would like to give or promote? The floor is yours.
Yeah, basketball is a great game, a beautiful game. Even today, I sometimes hear fans talk about it as if it's not good, but when I watch the game, I see the skill level. I see how far the game has come. I see how far the game has advanced. I love watching. I love watching the schemes. My parting words to the entire world is, even if you're not going to be an NBA player, use the game of basketball to build all your skills. Build your skills as being a good teammate. You're gonna maybe have a job one day in the office. Learn how to be a teammate. Learn how to be a useful teammate. Learn how to be involved. Learn how to knock back down from challenges or anything like that. But take the game, use it, pass it along to somebody else, pour into somebody else.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yes.
Uh, Coach, thank you again for being an official member of the 3-on-3 Hoops Nation.
Nation.
Uh,
I love it.
for Coach Jay, I'm Kevin Roberts. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube, and we'll see you when we see you. Peace.